Ladies and gentlemen, I have recently gotten into Lethal Company, a co-op horror game of collecting scrap for a company. What's interesting about it is that your job is to reach an ever-climbing quota until it's impossible to make, at which point you get among us into the deep reaches of space. What's more interesting to me is that this game is well crafted economically. To understand that, we need to take in the story cues given to us so far. What we see are abandoned moons that we collect scrap on. These moons used to house human life, and scrap is profitable enough for space expeditions. The lore makes it clear what the scrap is for. We feed a massive monster to keep it pacified. But why are we going after scrap? How we're making money from this can be as simple as saying it's a government contract with Lethal Company using taxpayer dollars to keep the beast at bay. Given the lack of lore of the scrap topic, we'll have to make some assumptions. There used to be humans on the moons that are now abandoned. The ecosystemic terrors that haunt the galaxy make them no longer alive there. Thus, it can be assumed that our story takes place after a massive wave of refugees. While immigration is often useful for a society, a sharp influx of bodies can cause problems rather quickly. A large increase in people leads to a sudden increase of demand for goods, and the planet doesn't have the supply for people and feeding the monster, making scrap missions into hostile territory a worthwhile business venture. There's a shortage of materials in society. Why else would glass bottles, rubber ducks, and more be worth what they are? Energy costs, on the other hand, are low. I'm guessing that from how well one singular piece of equipment, which isn't even incredibly expensive, powers an entire facility. Meanwhile, the labor market sees a sharp increase in able-bodied workers, which would be the supply of our labor graph. This puts us in a market out of equilibrium, in this case high unemployment. Desperation from the lack of jobs, coupled with those lack of resources, would lead to many people taking up a job to stay alive, and plenty of people to keep filling the empty shoes left behind. Lethal Company is thus incentivized to create a work environment that spends as little money on the workers as possible and use the increasing quota to get their labor force to be as efficient as possible. Though I must say, the continuous purge of their employees removes the experienced workers that would give the company better results. But I guess the finance department is afraid of experienced workers leveraging their profitability to demand safer and more expensive working conditions. In conclusion, I love this game, as it appears to create a realistic economic situation as a part of the lore. It really enhances the immersion. I have been the Archduck. What to do to pass the time? Yeah, this'll do.